Davis puts a charge into one out toward deep right field. That one is gonna go.
You give me hope.
Well, he's given the Marlins some hits. How about this one into the corner? That's going to be at least two. It hangs up down there. He's got speed, and he is going to head all the way to third. In there safely, and he keeps his fingertips on the bag.
All right, everybody. All right. Man, this is Pastor Rashawn Bey, the CEO and founder of Your Future Counts, which in essence, everybody knows it's YFC. And I have a special guest here today, someone that's a good brother of mine and also actually ended up being a client of ours. But this brother right here is the center fielder, right? Center fielder of the Florida Marlins. He's a professional baseball player. He's a father. He's a husband. Man, he's a believer. He totally is a one of a kind guy that really truly loves people, and really wanted to come out today and share his expertise on being in the league, professional baseball, and also sharing with people that are in other arenas of professional sports and even people that are in other arenas of success, to kind of give awareness and his take on what do we do during the worst times? What do we do during the unexpected times? What do you do during the worst case scenarios, unexpected case scenarios? So I have others than today, himself, MLB center fielder of the Florida Marlins, none other than Jonathan Davis. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I appreciate that introduction. I feel honored, man. It's special to be on here and just to talk and just kind of run ideas and give information to other people and help each other be better.
Awesome. So who is Jonathan Davis, man? Tell us your background, man. Where you went to school, high school, how'd you even get into your field of profession, man?
So as of course, Jonathan Davis. I'm from Camden, Arkansas, small town in Southwest Arkansas, near Texas. Grew up playing baseball, man, since I was a little jit. Remember stories that my dad and my grandfather used to tell me of me throwing the baseball over the house when I was like 4 or 5 years old. And that's where I was raised. I was raised in the church. My dad's a pastor. My grandfather is a deacon. I grew up in the church, and right now, I have a family. I have a wife, Hannah Montgomery, Pastor Montgomery's daughter, actually. And we have 2 kids, James, who is my son, 2-year-old, and Capri, my 3-year-old daughter. And this, I grew up, like I said, in Camden, just really, man, just pursuing a dream to play professional baseball. It's always been my dream since I was younger. I didn't know, the ins and outs of what it would look like, of course, but I had a passion for it, and I had a desire and a want to be the best that I could be at baseball. And I was pretty talented from a young age, but I really knew that I had a shot once I got to high school, and I realized the different, the level of competition and how I was matching up with the level of competition. And so I decided to pursue it. I played in the minor leagues. I got drafted by Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays, in the 15th round. Was with them from 2013 up until 2021. So I was with them for about 8 years, and made it to the big leagues in 18. So I played 6 years in the minor leagues, grinded it out. I actually met my wife before I got to the big leagues, so that was pretty cool. She grinded it out with me for a little bit. Yeah, man, like, it's been a good journey. I've learned a lot. I've grown and I've matured over the years, and I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate you having me on.
Wow. Wow. That's a great story. Great story. And then you finally got drafted to the Marlins. And man, you've been hitting it over the fence, man. I've been watching you, man. You've been killing it, man. I mean, just your plays. I mean, I'm just listening to some of the clips like they had on the highlights. I think it was like I think it was your debut game. You hit a home run, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Crazy. You talk about
Yeah.
impression. So being in your status of the career, you're not just an ordinary player. You're a person that is a star. So why is it important to prepare your finances now? What have you seen or witnessed when it comes to major players getting out of the league and major players that get injured or whatever the case would be? What is your take on that?
I think it's important, just in general, to prepare for your future. But in my arena, you do see a lot of guys that get out of the game and really don't know where to turn. And with that being said, I think that's why it's so important for me as well as others right now to prepare for their future, to not only just hoard money is how I like to call it, but have their money work for them. And over the years, I've actually realized for myself, that it's one thing to hoard or put money back, but in the society that we live in, the system that we live in, we have to be able to take that money and make it work for us. And if not, of course, we're gonna use that money at some point, eventually, and that money decreases value over time. So, I've seen many different stories with other athletes of them going broke or not having the means to take care of themselves. And every year in spring training, we have a group that comes in and tells us about different guys that we can support. The guys in the game can support guys who are outside of the game who don't have the means that they had when they were in the game. So those are some things that I see now, or I have seen, that allows me to see that it's very important, to work towards your future.
Right. I've heard people commit suicide. I've heard people go into depression,
Yeah.
get in mental institutions, and a lot of times people are like, "What happened to that guy?" I mean, that guy was doing with all that money that person was having. I see that it's a lot of outside looking in, people looking at who a person is on TV, but they don't see who the person is off the field, off the court,
Yeah.
off the stage. And when it's like that, it's like, wait a minute, what's happening to these people? And after, talking to key people and talking to even one of my best friends, Ray Crockett, who played for the Denver Broncos, he's a two-time Super Bowl champion. He said, man, when you get out of the league, people are still going to keep asking you for money. Your family's still going to keep depending on you. So he said, if I would have known what I learned from you today, because me and him are in business, we do a lot of things. He said, if I would have learned what I learned from you today, when I first got in the league, when I had all these millions, when I had all this stuff coming in, I would have positioned not only myself to be able to have
Right.
money working for me,
Yeah.
but I would have been able to make sure all of my family and everyone would have been in position to have their own money. That's the key thing.
Right.
Their
Right.
own money working for them. Because instead of having a fishing pole, we can go fishing with a net. We can help multiple people at the same time
Right.
with the right position, because it doesn't take a whole lot.
No.
It doesn't take a whole lot to start and let time go by and position everybody else to have their own. So he also said this, instead of buying people stuff for Christmas and buying people a car, I could have positioned people with, index funds or annuities, and take that same money that I would have bought a car with and put it in an annuity or an index fund with insurance, and it would have been growing for them. And by the time I got out the league, they would have had their own money for the rest of their life and they can buy their own car. And I said, dang, that's a powerful concept.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, on what he said about positioning other people in your family as well instead of just buying stuff for them?
I mean, I think that's 100% accurate. A lot of times, for me, I think um, we're nearsighted, and I think I'm speaking for myself. I always wanted to do things for other people, but growing up, I didn't really know how, and I was trying to do the best that I could to manage the little that I had. And so when you come from that situation, and I didn't come from a poor family, but we didn't. I think for me, I didn't know, and also I didn't put myself in a position to be in a better position, right now. And so, over the years, when I look back, you do see things that you could have done better, such as create that passive income, or get you some index funds and some annuities. So um, now that I'm in this position now and been talking with you and things, like, I do see, from just being in this for the short time that I have, where I could be right now. Because we're talking, I this will be my 10th year. So we'll be talking 10 years of, putting back, and those funds, like, exponentially growing over time. So I definitely think that's important. And then when you talk about other people, um, I don't only have that for myself. I have that for my wife and my kids, and you can go even further than that. You can, your friends and family, because especially um, us, like, I think it's important for us to take care of ourselves and take care of our family and our friends. And so it's important that we not only take care of ourselves, like I said, but we get that message out there.
So what do you say? Because I especially want to speak to the people that just get in the league. They're young, they got all these people in their ear. Everybody's pulling on them, everybody's telling them to go buy this Rolls Royce. They're trying to hurry and buy their mom a car. They're buying this stuff before they even touch the field. They got this big contract. Maybe they they might not even be the star player.
Right.
Their ego is bigger than their actual performance,
Right.
and so they might not even have 2 or 3 years, to
Right.
play. They
Right.
might not even start. They may not make the millions. They may only make, only a few 100,000. What do you say to the person that says, well, guys, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna have millions, I don't even have to worry about where my money's gonna go, I'm gonna be good. I don't have to worry about what I spend. I'm trying to live. I never had nothing. My mom never had nothing. What would you say to the person that's trying to spend so fast? What would you say to that person?
um, I mean, first and foremost, I've learned to pay myself first. Um, and for me, that means that at the end of the day, I know my grandpa always used to tell me, like, no matter how much money you get or making, make sure you put some aside. And so, I mean, I think it's very important to live life. I think it's very important to take care of yourself and enjoy, life. But at the end of the day, too, I think it's important to set yourself up for the future.
Right.
Uh, and so, my grandpa, he died a millionaire, and
Wow.
just by saving money over time and doing those things that we talk about. But he always used to tell me to, like, pay yourself first, because we pay everybody else.
Right.
We pay our car note, we pay our house mortgage, we pay all these people, and then at the end of the day, we left with nothing. So I try, one of the things that I try to do now is, before I do anything, I try to pay myself first. I try to put that money back. So that's what I would advise those people to do.
Wow, you said something very powerful. Pay yourself first. And I
Yeah.
think as a people that come from the backgrounds that we come from, we've never ever heard the language of pay ourselves. You know, we never.
Right.
I mean, I know you're fortunate to have your grandfather, but in our circles, we weren't taught like, hey, go pay yourself, go pay yourself. Ooh, I'm excited. Today's Friday. I'm gonna go pay myself today. Man, how much am I
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
pay
yeah.
myself? How much am I gonna put back for me? And I think it all stems down to how we were just passed down what we were told instead of being taught and being
Yeah.
taught. And I look at it in society today, it's equal opportunities, but it's unequal outcomes.
Right, right.
It's
Yeah,
unequal outcomes.
yeah,
It looks the same, but it doesn't end up being the same. And we're
yeah,
sitting thinking that it's us who are not trying to do what we're supposed to do, or we're not responsible, or we're beating ourselves up. But really, we just weren't educated on this stuff. You look at the
yeah.
athletes back in the day; their salaries wasn't the same salaries that they have today.
Right,
You know,
right.
they didn't have all the education. It wasn't exposed with social media about how people got over on people and signed the wrong contracts. I mean, if you look at the Scottie Pippen story,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Scottie
yeah,
Pippen was one of the most talented people on the team
yeah,
with
yeah,
Michael Jordan, but he had the worst contract in the league. And, you
yeah.
know, and it was like, wow, who? But from the outside looking in, we're watching, saying, man, he got to be on the same level as MJ. He got to be,
Right.
and that's to the credit of associations. When you're associated with the right people, people automatically assume that you're on the same level.
Exactly.
Also, man, I forgot to mention this. So we talked about people's futures. We talked about what it is that people can do. What I love about what we're teaching people is that insurance has been a leading way of being able to make your money work for you. When you look at the Rockefellers, when you look at the Kennedys, when you look at the Vanderbilts, when you look at the McDonald's, you look at the Disneys, you look at the J.C. Penney's, all these companies and people, even including banks, have structured insurance to be able to generate their wealth to start their companies. You look at banks have a lot of their tier one assets in life insurance contracts because one thing about it I learned is that wealthy people don't pay a whole lot of taxes, you know,
Hmm.
because they have the advantages. Even though they have the higher rate, they have the highest in write-offs as well, versus the working everyday class person has the lowest rate, but they pay most of the taxes.
Right.
And I like the fact that you can get things tax free, you know, compound your interest. You're able to do loans and borrow against your money instead of spending money. And how that concept works is for example, if you got 100K, instead of taking out 50K and just withdrawing the money like you would a bank account, a
Right.
CD, a stock, or an IRA, or mutual fund, or 403B, or whatever the case would be, you can actually do a loan against your own money. And instead of you just being charged like you would doing at the bank, you actually will still earn interest on the 50K
Right.
once it has left your account. So you still get credited the whole 100 grand. And so
Right.
I think that's powerful because it's a different way of spending money. And it's basically lending money out of your
Right.
own self to purchase that car, purchase that house. So
Right.
instead of buying a Rolls Royce, like a lot of athletes do, and pay cash for it, they can basically borrow against their own money in insurance and be able to now earn interest on their own money while they're utilizing the asset. And then they
Right.
sell the car, they pay themselves back, and they just constantly shift it back and forth.
Right.
One of my mentors, Matt Sapala, uh, did that with his Rolls Royces. Same thing.
Right.
And
Right.
he had a video. I think he was saying it was something like paying $30 a month for a Rolls Royce because of the way that he had the structure set up.
Structure. Yeah.
And another piece I realized is in the 70s and 80s, they slowly got rid of pensions. And the only setup in the world that still offers the pension feature lifetime income is insurance. Because
Mm.
now you got money coming on top of money that you'll never outlive
Right.
versus outliving your money or running out of money. So I think this is very critical what we're teaching people how to do. We're teaching people how to become millionaires in their 40s, teach people how to
Right.
become millionaires in their upper 30s, utilizing the strategies that you're using, utilizing the strategies that we're teaching that's really over 500 years old. It's not
Yeah.
nothing new. It's really over 500 years old, and it's regulated through the state. So I think for everybody listening, it's very important to go back and relook at everybody's finances and say, wait a minute, what are my options? What
Right.
are my different options? Do I put it in the bank? Do I put it in the stock market? Do I put it in a 401k IRA qualified plan? Do I put it in real estate? Or why do I take a look at this thing called insurance? Because I
Right.
didn't even think that you can invest or you can even put or place money inside of insurance to be able to generate wealth. Because the difference
Right.
between being rich,
Yeah.
rich is okay, right? Rich, you get money, you have some money, but wealth, everybody enjoys it in your family. And
Right.
so I
Right.
like these index funds because, especially, with these annuities, they've been out since 1759, and even some sources on the internet says they've been out over 2,000 years.
Wow.
2,000 years. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no wonder so many people have generated their wealth and have so much money because
Yeah.
they didn't work for their money. They made their money
Over
work
over
for
100.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and one more piece is there's this thing called a living benefit. I look at athletes like Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin didn't even get hit hard on the field and had a sudden cardiac arrest, but he
Yeah.
still lived. So I look at people like that if they would have had this living benefit, which is it's an insurance policy where the benefit is where you can accelerate up to 85 to 90% of your death
Oh
benefit
wow.
while you're alive and
Right.
get compensated right then and there and don't have to pay it back. So I look at that and I'm saying, now that's life changing. People that can get affordable coverages that's less than their cell phone bill and be able
Right.
to have a security that if I get sick with cancer, if I have a heart attack, I have cancer, I get kidney failure, I get brain injury, Alzheimer's, whatever the case may be, while
Right.
I'm alive, I get a chance to have more money than I ever thought I would ever have. And I don't have to continue to go to work, or I don't have to exhaust my own savings. I don't have to lean on my family. I don't have to go stay with my family. I don't have to be a
Yes.
person that they have to take care of. We have enough money where we can take care of ourselves. What's your
Exactly.
what's your thoughts on that, man? Because I think that's very powerful concepts that we weren't taught in the history books.
Yeah, for sure. They've, the banking system, they've been doing that for, I mean, hundreds and thousands of years, bro. Like, and the way I look at it is becoming your own bank. You talked about, borrowing against, taking out those loans and, those different type of benefits. And if you think about it, the banks are doing the same thing that we would do if we would they would they are basically doing the same thing that we're doing, and they're taking out insurance policies. You know what I'm saying? And the funds that they have are growing and expounding over time. And I think it's important for us because it allows us to become our own bank and use our own money, but not just use it, but it's also allowing us to hold on to our money and to allow that money to grow and grow over time. And so that's something that I've just learned and got accustomed to, is like becoming my own bank. Instead of going to a bank and asking for a loan, I can borrow against my own money, like you said, and get the things that I need, but also hold on to my money, and allow my money to grow while I'm paying myself back, And so not only am I paying myself once I get paid, but I'm also paying myself like I would go and pay the bank. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. It's like, these insurance policies allow you to become your own source. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can stay at the house and use your money and allow your money to grow. So
Wow.
I think that's the exciting part about it when you really look at it, is you become, free of other people. So it's pretty good.
Wow, wow. And I think I'm gonna play this clip right here real quick, um,
Okay.
where Waka Flocka said something about what he would have learned and how he can use insurance. So we're gonna watch this clip.
All right.
Man, please.
Yeah.
Please. I'm going to open up insurance, put 2-3 million in my insurance, and borrow from that and put it back in. I never lose my money, ever. And anybody get money, will give me a promissory note.
All right. So, man, that's powerful. Waka Flocka said, man, if I would have known what I know today, I could have put millions of dollars in my insurance and borrow it right back out and then pay myself back. I'm like, man, who thinks like that? I was always taught it was a burial policy.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
always taught that, wait a minute, the saying, I ain't trying to get rich. I ain't trying to, I just want to get something just to get by. I ain't trying to get rich. It's amazing how people have the stigma that being rich is bad. But I believe that Bible had one of the richest men. People think, by the way, for you guys that are listening, Warren Buffett is not the richest man that ever lived, by the way. It was a man named
Really?
Solomon. Just let you guys know.
Oh, yeah.
Just to let everybody guys know, it was Solomon in the Bible. He was the richest man that ever lived. And so, and here's what's amazing. He didn't even ask for the riches. He said, what do you want me to give you? He said, I just want more wisdom.
Wisdom.
Ain't that amazing? Maybe
The know-how. The know-how.
Hey, Jonathan, maybe if we pray every day for more wisdom, God would make sure our bills are supplied for. Maybe we stop asking him for the dollar. We start asking him for wisdom. Maybe he'll change a lot of stuff that we're doing. Maybe I'm gonna start changing my prayer. Lord, just give me more wisdom. Lord, let me have more like you. And but man, it's crazy how people and OJ Simpson. I heard OJ Simpson put all his money inside insurance, and that's why he was able to avoid losing everything when he was going through these trials, because insurance is protected against lawsuits, garnishments, governments, tax liens, child support. It don't matter. Insurance is a legal contract that protects your money from being touched by anybody. The only people that touch it is the owner, the insured, and the beneficiary. That's it.
Right.
And I was like, wow. So you could tuck a lot of money into this stuff and not have to worry about things, versus when you do it in the bank, when you do it over here in investments, it's exposed because it's considered a financial asset when it comes to the investments and institutions. But when it comes to insurance, it's considered a different thing. So that's why they can't touch it. And so man, it's amazing what we're able to show people, especially people that are worried about, oh man, somebody might touch my money, or somebody may get this, or somebody may have that. Nope, cannot touch it. It's protected in everything. And here's another thing. There's the components of insurance that I learned that make it different than the side of exposure. So you have liquidity, which means can I access my money at any given time? Liquid access. You've got principal protection, which means am I protected against losses due to the market downturns? When the market crashes, whatever, am I protected against that? You got tax deductibles. Can I file my tax returns? You've got tax advantages. Do I pay taxes now? Do I pay taxes later? And then you have growth. So those are the 5 principles, Jonathan, that tells us where's the best place to keep our money. So when I did the comparison out of bank accounts, out of stocks, out of qualified, which qualified means IRAs, 401ks, 457s, 403bs, mutual funds, different things like that. Real estate and insurance scores the highest out of all of them. Because number one, when you look at the first four, only bank accounts are liquid and stocks. But when it comes to qualified plans and real estate, they're not liquid, because real estate, you got to sell the property or you got to refinance. When it comes to 401ks, you're not 59 and a half and older, you get penalized for taking your own money out. And then you get hit with those taxes. When it comes to safety of principal, banks are safe, from losing money, but a bank loses buying power because cost of living goes up 6 to 7% a year. So you're losing that in cost. So it costs you, so you got to spend more. When it comes to Stock market, there's no safety. You lose money. When it comes to 401ks, you lose money. When it comes to real estate, you lose money. When it comes to tax deductions, there's no tax deductions except with the qualified plans. And then when it comes to tax advantages, bank accounts don't have a tax advantage. Stock markets don't have tax advantage. You don't pay taxes.
Right.
Qualified plans for sure don't have any tax advantages. Now, real estate does have tax advantages.
Yeah.
You look at growth, banks don't grow. Stock market does grow. Qualified plan grows. And real estate grows. But when you look at what it's up against, from the losses to the heavy taxes to the fees and cost of living increasing, you got all those things against you, and all you have is growth. So it don't matter if you make 20%. You're losing almost 30% when it comes to the taxes, the fees, the losses, the setbacks, the cost of living. So when you look at insurance, the reason why insurance scores the highest is because insurance is liquid. You can take, money, put it in the policy, and take it right back out liquid without no restrictions. You could be 3 years old and take money out, no problem. When it comes to safety, it's an index fund built in, and it's no losses when it comes to insurance ever. There's never a loss due to the market. And when it comes to tax deductible, there is no tax deduction. The reason why is because the tax advantage is it's 100% tax free. 7702 and 72E, according to IRS code, nothing in insurance can be taxed. Nothing that can be withdrawn or doing loans can be taxed as well. So it's 100% tax free to the person. So that's why I'm like, man, no wonder why wealthy people put money in there. And when it comes to growth, man, insurances are averaging 6 to 9 to even 10% compounding interest.
Right.
But then watch this. You also have annuities that get 25, 30% and no losses. But watch this. Here's some other features that's not on the grid. Lifetime guaranteed income, where you're guaranteed to withdraw for the rest of your life versus running out of money.
Right.
You're able to do the loans where you can borrow against your money and earn interest on your money while it's being spent. You get a death benefit on top of it. So when you pass away with all 4 of the other accounts, you don't get nothing additional.
Nah.
But with this, you might get $100,000, $1 million, $2 million on top of your money that you have. So that's like extra money, free and clear.
Right.
And then you got living benefits, where you can access up to 85% of your death benefit while you're alive if you get sick with an illness. So you got all those benefits while saving your money, man. What's your thoughts on that, man? I mean, that's just a knockout right there.
I'm kind of overwhelmed over here. And I'm ready to put all my money into it. Hey, that's where I'm at, man. Like I said, just being educated and hearing all the benefits and stuff, man. Of course, like there's gonna be sacrifice on the front end, but it's a sacrifice with anything. Like we said, I just think when you look at what you're trying to do, what you're trying to build, the legacy you're trying to leave, I mean, you can't go wrong, really. There's no way you can go wrong. So, I'm all for it, man, and I really. Just hearing you talk and speak about it, and it made me want to go and just tell people, like the good news. You just want to go and tell somebody, hey, man, what you got going? Hey.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's a telling situation, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what we're doing for the community. I'm excited about what's to come, and man, I appreciate this talk that we're doing. I'm excited about the great things that we are transitioning to, and man, it's just up and stuck from here, up and stuck. Because a lot of times you get up, but a lot of times you come back down. So it's up and stuck. You and your family are such a great example. What you do on the field, what you do off the field. You as a human being. Your social media is growing. How can people follow you, man? You got your social media?
I got Instagram, so it's Jonathan.Davis49. Yeah, and I just really got back on there, but I'm excited, to work with you guys and constantly just growing in general as a person and growing as a family, and I'm excited about what we got going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I thank Pastor Terry Montgomery for making the introduction. He's also got another son-in-law that's in the pros as well, Anthony. And we're just excited about what we're doing. Man, you guys, please follow this brother, Jonathan.Davis49 on Instagram.
Follow me. Follow me.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure. We're gonna follow each other.
Yeah, man. He's great in
Yeah.
the community. He loves the Lord. He loves people, and he's a competitor as well. And we're excited about what we're doing. So, you guys, I think that's our time. Man, we thank you for coming out and taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today and share with the whole entire world about your take on what people need to do to better themselves, to put themselves in a better position, showing people about index funds and showing people about different things dealing with life insurance, because a lot of people think life insurance is when you die only, but actually
Right.
life insurance is actually for the living as well. And there's so many different concepts, so many different strategies. So definitely, for those of you that are watching, they'll have more information below. And the people that show you this, they'll be able to get you more information. We're excited. We thank you all for tuning in. And there's many more to come with YFC and Your Future Counts. Any final remarks before we let the people go, Jonathan?
I'm grateful and I'm thankful to be here, man. And I'm blessed. We're blessed. Like I said, I'm excited about, our future. And I guess the last thing I'll leave the people with is don't be afraid to shoot your shot, shoot your shot.
Awesome. Awesome. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot, you guys. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed.